Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, FF family. Today is Tuesday, July 22nd, episode 27. We've got job updates and more what-if scenarios to provide for you today. My name is Dylan. I'm going to be your host today. Unfortunately, Nick is not with us for this episode. He's still alive. He's still alive. He's around. Allegedly, he's still around. So he should be back with us next time.
He's alive.
Rest in peace, Nick. Yeah. So should be back. We're gonna miss him today, but I do have Bradley. He's here too, I guess. So with that being said, I do want to go over something. So we usually start this podcast off with a little something. Today, Bradley, I'm going to ask you this. Between, let's say, the last time we had the podcast and today when we had the podcast, what is something you did to benefit your retirement? Whether that be investments or maybe some just change of plans you had of how you're investing, or in general, what did you do?
Yeah. I haven't done any new investing. If you've heard me talk on the podcast or read my stuff, generally I'm a buy and hold. One thing I have done, though, is hold back emotion. Nick talked about this last week. It's like, what would you do differently with a stock draft? Is like maybe be less emotional. And that's when it comes to like certain stocks or funds or whatever. So I have held back on like maybe buying some stuff that I want to buy because it's in the news or whatever. And I think that's a good thing. If I do buy, I'm just going to stick to my plan, buying funds, ETFs, mutual funds, maybe some individual stocks. When I do buy individual stocks, like I talked about this, like Elon and Tesla, or Elon and Trump are going at it. I'm like, the stock's going to go down, so I buy some there because I think it's a good stock. But overall, I think what I did was just like kind of control myself. I've been on a 2-year period, like almost like sober 2 years of like not buying stocks based on emotions or anything like that. And it felt good because there are a couple things that pop up in the news. And even though I talk about financial literacy, I still like that thought in the back of my mind is still there. Like you could make some cash on this if you buy it. It's cheaper. It'll get more expensive. Then you flip it. But I held off and I feel good.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, no offense, it does sound like the gambler's mindset where you're like, well, hey, you don't win if you don't keep going, you know? Yeah.
I mean, it's true. Like you hear people say this, like, oh, playing the stock market's just like gambling. I'm like, only if that's how you do it, only if you play it like
I feel
gambling.
Like day trading, I feel like is gambling in a way.
Kinda,
right?
Yeah, in a sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's the closest thing, but like the stocks or investments I have built into like my IRA or my retirement in general, like that doesn't change. I'm not touching it, It just goes into it. What else you
got? Speaking of gambling, Carrie and I were
oh boy, new addiction.
Carrie and I were in Vegas. We're not gamblers. I've only gambled 3-4 times in my life.
Oh, totally believe that. Yeah.
And usually it's with like other people. I was thinking about this. I've like never really played the lottery. Like I've played it with like a few people and they're like, hey, let's go. Like the lottery's really big at work or something. They're like, let's go do it. I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to ask them. Like one lottery, please, So like I had them
one lottery.
I literally don't know what to say. Like give me the double jackpot with the, I don't know. Anyways,
extra salt. Yeah.
We were in Vegas and we don't gamble. Like it's not like, we don't know what to do really, but there's roulette, right? And it's roulette where the little ball goes around and it's either black or red.
You flick it and goes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they have that. And then like every once in a while I'm like, let's do it. Let's put $5 on it. So I like it was one of our last days there. I'm like, let's put $50 on it or whatever, or 25, and I had 50. I'm like, okay, so like I would win some, I'd lose some, and this thing was like, it was like red. I'm like, well, it has to be black now. And then it goes green, which is like a 1 in 30 chance. And I'm like, what
Yep.
the hell? And so like I was up to $75 and it was like red, 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 like 4 reds, a green, and 3 reds. And Carrie's like, put it on black now. And I'm like, no, wait one more time. And it hit red again, and we lost all $75 or whatever. And I watched the machine afterwards. It was red like 2 more times, so I would have lost money anyways. That's
Oh my
my
God.
gambling experience. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah.
So, long story short, my gambling experience, I went to a boat here in the old great state of Missouri and walked in with 25, left with 70. So,
okay.
it wasn't so
There
great.
you go.
Didn't leave bankrupt, so that was good. Hit 21, I hit 21, if you know what I mean.
All right.
Okay, so this isn't like a gambling thing, but it's just an experience I had, just a tangent about. Do you remember, when have you ever seen me drink coffee?
Coffee?
You've known me for, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Yeah, never. A man in my age, I have no idea how to use a coffee machine at all. I get it, you do water and you make it into dirt water. Like, I get the idea, right?
Yeah.
Well, at work, they were like, hey, I know you come in early for, like, doing training and stuff. Can you please do the coffee machine when you come in? It's a fair request,
Yeah.
but I'm like, I don't know how to work it, and I don't drink coffee. And they're like, you don't drink the coffee? I said, no, I don't. As literally giving the information, like, to start doing it, I'm holding my Alani energy drink. I'm like, I have no idea how to use that thing. I need someone to show me. And they're like, okay, so the night crew, what they'll do is you'll put the pot in. All you need to do is click ready. So I said, okay, going forward, I'm going to walk in, I'm going to click start, and I'm going to leave. Is that okay? And they said, perfect. All right, I'm going to do that every time. I'm walking in, start, leave. That's it. And like, perfect. I'm like, okay. And still have no idea how a coffee machine works, but that's fine. Yeah, and then leave. Don't forget that part. I can't stay there. All right, well, I appreciate that. For me, my retirement, honestly, not much changed. I did put a new stock into my rolling IRA I have, which is just more of like, I keep forgetting the name of this. What's one of those stocks that like are really good dividends? The Aristocrat, or what is it called? I always mess up the
Dividend
name.
Aristocrat.
Oh, perfect. Got it right for once. I put Ford into it. Just put something else into it just to invest to. That's it. And I just put it to reinvest into itself whenever I get a dividend.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's all I was working on.
Nice.
Yeah, something simple. I keep up my usual amount I invest in monthly. No alternative changes. So I'm keeping it simple. And I just, in 30 years, I'll love myself for it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. That's it. Well, if there's nothing else, let's talk about the economy. Where are we at this week? Are we hitting another recession? We're going to a Great Depression, Bradley. So let's figure it out. The CPI, what is that again? I forget.
Consumer Price Index.
Oh, that's what that means.
The U.S.'s, the Federal Reserve's way that they measure inflation. It's a type of inflation measurement.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So the CPI increased from 0.1% in May to 0.3% in June. Is that good enough? Is that something to talk about? What's the deal?
So starting with that, I think I mentioned it last week. The Federal Reserve's goal is 2% over a 12-month period. So if you do the math, 0.3 times 12, that's over 2%, right? So it's not good. We want it between 0.1 and 0.2 month to month. And it was 0.1 the month before, and I want to say negative 0.1 the month before that. So it ticked up a little bit. And like looking at the CPI inflation report, like gas is erratic and food is erratic when it comes to inflation. So like we saw at the end of 2024, like prices skyrocket with food. A lot of it was due to egg prices. We've talked about that before. So June, what happened in June? We bombed Iran. and gas prices shot up, but they went right back down. But the average gas price was really high, so that also shot it up. But 0.1% of inflation, import prices were up 0.1%. That report just came out today. So you would assume that's from tariffs, just like a little bit of an increase. It's so minuscule that it's hard to say like where exactly is that coming from. So it's over goal. It's not crazy high, it's not scary high, but it is over goal.
So just to be clear with everyone, we don't want that to go up. We want that to go down.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like the higher we go up, the better score we have, like a credit score. We want it to go down.
The goal, Federal Reserve's goal is 2%, which is between 0.1 and 0.2 every month. Their goal is 2%, not less, not more. So a tiny, I'm not sure if I really buy this, or maybe I just don't understand the math, but they kind of want a little bit of inflation, right? It's healthy.
Why is that?
It's healthy for the economy, right? Prices slowly go up, providing economic whatever, the economy moving, profits growing. It's healthy.
Oh, okay, I get it. Yeah.
But as we'll talk about in a second, wages also have to go up to cover that 2%. But obviously, way higher. It's worse to be at 1 to 3% than it is 1%, essentially.
Got it. That makes sense. Okay. Now, first of all, I had a question. I haven't heard anything. So I know Iran was going to close that strait of whatever it was, where like the majority of
how to pronounce it.
Yeah, it's like whatever the strait was, but that's where like 80% of the world's oil goes through.
No,
is that
like
correct?
20
Something like that?
25%.
Oh, okay. The 80% was what?
Got
it. Yeah, got it. Did that ever close? I don't think it ever did, right?
No, okay. So that's why gas prices skyrocketed and then came right back down. Because what happened was everyone was afraid that this was going to happen. So, like, production was going to go up. So just, like, instability shot up gas prices. And the reason why they went down is because they didn't, Hormuz, I think it's called, they didn't close the Strait of Hormuz. And so everyone increased their oil and gas production. So gas prices and oil prices went way down because production increased. And then they kind of settled when we're like, okay, nothing's actually going to happen. So nothing closed. Everything's kind of back to normal, if you will.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I assumed that happened because I never heard like, oh my God, the strait closed. We're dying. So that makes sense. Now, the unemployment rate did stay steady at 4.1%, and wages are up according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. So I know we always talk about the recession. We don't want unemployment going up. We need people having jobs. Wages need to be like at least not dropping, I guess. Correct?
Right. You want wages to go up, and that's kind of where the healthy inflation comes in a little bit, if you will.
Right. So at this point in time, it seems like to me we're not going towards a recession. Maybe we are, but it's like such a small, minuscule tick up in the wrong direction, I guess. Right? I don't know where we was landing with that.
No, quite the opposite. Wages going up and unemployment staying steady and technically going down is the opposite of a recession. In my mind, a recession is more about wages and job growth than it is about inflation. Inflation's okay. If we really think about it in the world, inflation's good, but the U.S. wants it at 2. We're at 2.6 or whatever. But wages they went up 4.6% wages year over year, while inflation went up 2.4%. I think that's the numbers, if I have them right. I wrote an article today on Freedom Finances, explaining all this. This is really a very rare occurrence since essentially the pandemic that we've seen wages outgrow inflation. That's a very, very, very good thing. So right now we're in the opposite direction of a recession. We're doing extremely well when it comes to the jobs market. I know I'm very conservative when it comes to like, are things going really well? I'm pretty cautious. If we get to 3.9% unemployment, I'm going to have a party, right? Like, I'm going to officially declare things are amazing. But wages ticking up over a 12-month period at 4.6%, that's an amazing thing. I broke down all the statistics on the website, but it's a very, very good thing. we are far from having a discussion about a recession right now. Like, it's not happening. The economy's slowly getting better. There's still the evil T word that's scaring people, but if things continue to get better at this rate, which they have for about a year or so, especially since like egg prices settled things down, like things are going to go pretty well.
And I think just kind of cap this off in general, it just sort of feels like from a worker or like consumer specific like standpoint, I still think the conversation of affordability comes to mind in general. So do you think right now we're heading into a positive light for that in general? Like as far as that perspective, do you feel like there's light at the end of the tunnel somehow? Or
yes. So here there's a few reasons that it doesn't always make sense to certain people. One is, we talked about this last week or the week before, house prices don't go down, right?
Yep.
They're always more expensive this year than they were last year. Like sometimes it's like the stock market, right? So things are never, it's not going to be like all of a sudden the average cost of a house is $100,000. That's not going to happen. If it does, it's probably a bad thing, you know?
Yeah, that's pretty
so bad. Some things are stable, like eggs, milk, affordability. And I even read this article about in the Wall Street Journal about how Walmart prices on cheap stuff are going down, Amazon prices are going up, and everything that's expensive prices are going down. So that's where we kind of see the stuff is like affordability somewhat doesn't matter. What does matter is wages go up. So if your rent goes up from $1,000 to $1,200 per month, you essentially have you have, I don't know, $2,400 in the year, but you get paid an extra $8,000. You're like, cool, I'll take that trade-off every single time, you know? So it's wages, it's job growth, it's the economy, people moving, people working where it matters, but wages have to outpace inflation for things to feel comfortable.
Gotcha. So once wages start ticking up a little bit more, we're starting to see more of that like relief, it feels like. Is that correct? Like a good mindset to have?
I think I don't necessarily know that it's a little bit more. It's for a longer period of time. Because
right.
Most people working, it's not like, hey, because the economy said you got 4.6%, you get a 4.6% raise. That's not how it works, right? It's not like, hey, I got a 4.6% raise. No, that includes new job growth, people getting jobs, some yearly raises, but this needs to continue to happen over a longer period of time for everyone to start feeling it.
That makes sense. Okay, perfect. I think as specifically with the American audience, I think we do need to kind of temper that a little, making sure we understand it's a period over time, for sure. Yeah. Like we don't just because you get politics thrown into it too. But no matter what, the numbers don't lie, really.
Yeah.
And as soon as you like realize that we got to be patient and see this trend over time, that's what's going to make the benefit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, well, thank you for that. Anything to cap off with the economy before we move on?
I'm still like, if you look at the fear and greed index, it's like at a 73. I think I checked today. It's between greed and extreme greed, and I'm still personally, I'm like more in the middle, cautious, and I really want to see unemployment at 4.0 or 3.9. If it hits 3.9, I'm calling it. Things are amazing. Until then, I'm like, what's going to happen? Like, I'm just cautious.
Yeah. Absolutely. I guess from my perspective on it, it just kind of feels the same right now.
Yeah.
I don't see like a huge difference in what's occurred since. I mean, if you want to gauge from election to election, like post, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like it's just been the same, and we're gonna have to wait longer to see actual results or not.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So with that being said, unless do you have anything else to add?
No.
Cool. All right. Just want to make sure. So, we're gonna go into our what if scenarios now. I'm going to talk about a few things involving retirement, some cool income tax questions. I was telling Bradley earlier how much I actually really like the ideas he threw out today, and some some debt questions and how we can get through that. So the first question I have for you, Bradley, is it worth to retire and withdraw Social Security now, or wait for maximum benefits? And let's picture you're talking to Dylan right now. Like Dylan's asking this question. What would you suggest?
So Dylan, I would give you a brief technical answer, which is and Nick actually knows the technical answer a little bit better than me, but I think it's a 30-year period. What the Social Security does is they take your 30-year period and they put that part of like your average of how much you get paid out. So the longer you work, the more money you make due to inflation and wages going up. And you kind of want like year 31 to fall off because you want year 1 to fall off because year 31 you're making more money. So if you do that, then you like substantially goes up on how much you make. So that's the technical answer. Before I go on, does that make sense? What do you think?
To me, yes, as the guy that reads the headlines, that makes sense. Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
The less technical answer is ignore the 30-year and the rollover and all that. Compound interest just takes longer to work. So assuming you have a little bit in your 401k or IRA, the longer time you have, the more, especially over a year, like from year 29 to 30 in compound interest, it just goes up. It like continues to increase. The longer you work, the less you have to live a life without an income, the more you can allow Social Security to grow for you and your own 401k. And my recommendation is like, if health can afford it, and I know this is kind of a controversial topic, if you can afford it health-wise, keep working until you can't or until you absolutely do not need to, right? Like if you have plenty of money in the bank, you have a couple mil in your 401k and you're not going to live a crazy lifestyle, fine, retire. If you're like, it's going to be tight, work until, you can't or until you're comfortable. What do you think?
I mean, I don't think that's really a controversial statement. That just seems like common sense to me. I maybe that's a controversial take, but I think in a, like you and I was talking about, like a real person conversation, I feel like a real person would state like, okay, so I just need to make sure if I plan out monthly, it's going to cost me this to live a year. And if I can make sure that I do this for, let's plan, like, what's the retirement age? I'm so bad at this. 65?
Yeah, I think
68?
It's 65 right now, I think.
Okay. So 65, realistically, I got 20 years left, right?
Yeah.
And then with that time, like, can I live 20 years keeping my same payments, keeping my house, so on and so forth? No, I don't think that's controversial. I think that's not like the sexy answer, you know what I mean, that people might want.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's true because the real world, you only have a finite amount of time and money left where you're retired.
And if you want to get a little less comfortable, average age for males, I think, is like 74 in the U.S. I think females, it's 76. So if you retire at 65, you got about 9 years left.
Later, loser. No, I'm kidding.
So, so hopefully you have 9 years of Social Security and money in the bank to kind of cover you. I'm not saying plan out for 9 years, but that's, 9 to 12 years, whatever. But yeah, Ozzy died at 76.
I was just about to say that. You beat me to it. Dang it. I was like, it's kind of off topic a little bit, but I was like, I just like Ozzy. I think I heard he died on stage, actually. Sincerely, I think he was like in the middle of a set or something.
No. Black Sabbath had like their final going away concert like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it was. Okay, I haven't like dived into it yet, and I heard someone say he died while doing what he loves. Like, oh my god, he died on stage. That's crazy.
Oh, gotcha.
But wouldn't that be the most rock thing to do? You're in the middle of like, Mama, I'm coming home. Yep, and
boom,
then boom, out of there. All right,
that's funny. We're both thinking this.
Yep, actually, we even got it down to the boom. That wasn't even planned. I promise. Oh, we've known each other too long, I think. All right. Question a dose. sincerely, no joke, no plan for this. I loved this question Bradley came up with because I feel like it's something you hear all the time, whether people have grievances, either taxes or the money they make, and like, I don't like this because of this, or,
Yeah, yeah.
just a general question, which is, Bradley, as Dylan here, should I move to a state that doesn't have state income taxes like Florida, for example? I currently have state income taxes. Should I move to Florida?
Yeah. So, just to give credit where credit is due, Nick came up with this question. And it's a good question. I know you're interested in it, but let me give you a scenario. So, my other business, Southern Oregon Standard Issue Provisions, is from Southern Oregon, right? Where there is no state sales tax, but there's state income tax. That's where one of my business partners from SOSIT lives. I live in Colorado, where there's sales and income tax. My brother lives in Florida, and there is no income tax in Florida. So we've talked about moving the LLC. Like, where would it be the best for the LLC right now? Like Oregon, Colorado. It's not Colorado, because we have everything, right? It's very expensive. Or Florida.
Yeah.
So ultimately, like, Florida has like better state laws. It's better for business when it comes to LLCs, lower taxes. And like, we've talked about moving the business from Oregon to Florida. Right now, we don't have a physical location, so there's not much that matters. But here's the impact. I live in Colorado. It's expensive here. State taxes are whatever, income tax, federal income tax, sales taxes, kind of expensive. It's not crazy. Florida, it's a lot cheaper. It's sunny, Florida. But guess what? I love Colorado. I'm not sure I ever want to leave Colorado. Like, Carrie and I will be driving around. It's sunny all the time, and I know you kind of like rainstorms in Missouri, so you kind of love Missouri, right? It's sunny here all the time, and it's not humid, and it's very mild weather. Even when
I think I would rather have that, to be fair.
Yeah. Even when it snows, it melts because it's sunny. And there's a beautiful mountain view. When I look out Carrie's office window, we can see this huge mountain. That's a 20-minute drive across town, up the mountain, right? Now, I could go to Florida, and my house would be $150,000 cheaper, no income tax, but then I'm going to have bugs all over me, right? I'm going to have hot, humid weather, being soaked in sweat. Oh, there's
Gators.
Very little bugs here in Colorado Springs, by the way. That's important. So the question is it worth it, right? Is your lifestyle worth it? Like, some people love Florida. I'm not saying Florida's bad. Like, beach life, sunny weather, or sunny, hot weather. A lot of people love that. I just want like mild weather, beautiful mountains. I'd rather live by mountains than the ocean. Some people are different. And the answer for me, no. I'm not moving to Florida. Do you want to save money? Do you like, the ocean? Do you like hot weather? Move to Florida. It's cheaper. It's nice. It's beautiful. But it's not for me. So is that money worth it? The answer for me is no. I pay a premium to live in Colorado, and I'm okay with that.
So it's really just about more so a personal choice than like the actual income benefit from it.
Yeah. Cool. Here's the thing. It is absolutely cheaper to move to Florida. It's better. It'll be better for Freedom Finances. It'll be better for my other business. It's just more business friendly. It's more consumer friendly. It'll just work better. But I like it here. Will I save money? Yeah, absolutely. But do I want it to be humid all the time? No. Will I miss my mountains? Yes. So I'm going to stay here and pay a premium. Like, let me ask you this, Dylan.
Yep.
Missouri's pretty cheap, so it's kind of hard to say. Florida's probably about the same, but no income tax. Where would you rather live? Florida or Missouri?
I think for things to do, Florida for sure.
Sure.
But it's like If it's solely based on the no income tax, no, I don't.
Right. Yeah.
That's not a major factor.
Yeah. It's, it's just up to you. Like, go where you want to be and know that you will pay a price one way or another. Like, I pay the price in literal dollars,
Yep.
My brother, on the other hand, he lives in Florida and he loves every single thing about it. He should stay in Florida, right? It's better for him, less income taxes. He should stay there because he loves it. He loves every single day's like a vacation for him, which is kind of how I feel in Colorado, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me personally, you have actually been to the place that I would really want to live,
Which
which is
is
Vegas.
Vegas. Vegas is hot. I do love Vegas. Carrie and I are like, we might want to just live in the desert one day.
I am telling you, Vegas is just so fun because if you want to go expensive, go to the expensive part of town. If you don't, there's another part of town you go to, and that place is so much fun. It's ridiculous, over the top, and I love it. I
Yeah.
absolutely love Vegas.
Yeah.
It's so many events, so many little things you can do. Penn and
Yeah.
Teller's there. I'm a big Penn and Teller fan.
Nice.
It's great. I love it. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for that. That was actually something I genuinely wondered because you
Yeah.
always hear about it, and I just never had the really looked into
Yeah,
it. So I
I mean,
appreciate that.
The answer changes too. Like, if I have a business, I think In-N-Out Burger is moving from California. I don't know if you saw the headlines. They just announced
Oh
this.
no.
And California is one of those things like Colorado. Like, it's a beautiful place. Like, it's the size of like 2 European countries put together, right? It's beautiful. They have desert, they have mountains, they have oceans, they have beautiful cities, but like it's crazy expensive and the employment laws aren't employer friendly, right? So eventually the taxes, the cost outpace making like having a business, right? The benefits are like slowly grow while the costs increase. And you kind of just have to ask yourself, am I willing to pay the cost? As a business owner, it's absolutely like we're lying if we say go to California to open a business versus Texas or Florida, right? Like if you want to open a business, like a real business, hire people, go to Florida,
Yeah. Just to spot check you on this because I wanted to see why they were going out. It's actually the CEO. She is moving out to Tennessee. She stated that the company is not moving out of California.
Oh, I thought she said the headquarters was moving out.
She specifically, per CNBC 4 hours ago, In-N-Out
Yeah.
Billionaire CEO, we're not moving HQ out of California.
Oh, okay. Okay, there
And
you go.
she said,
so she made a personal decision.
She did. Yep, that's what I was about to say.
Not the business decision, which is like, Tennessee's one of those places a lot of people go to. And it's like, okay, I don't want to live in Tennessee. Like, like I don't want to go to Tennessee, but if you're a billionaire, like it's way cheaper to go to Tennessee than, California.
Correct.
But
And her reasons, raising families tougher in California.
yeah,
That was it.
Yeah, there you
So,
go.
yep, you're right.
Go where you want to go.
That she proved what you said.
Yeah.
So there you go. All right, next questions. Wrap up today. So I have student loans. I've got credit card debt. I've got a car loan, mortgage, medical debt. I owe my brother money too. I don't even have a brother. That's crazy. How should I go about paying down my debt with all of these avenues? Then let's make it easy. Let's say in real terms, like what Dylan would have, I have realistically, let's say I'll have student loans. I have credit card debt, and a car loan. So those three things. What am I targeting first?
First is almost always going to be credit card debt. The main reason being it's just really crazy high interest. You get nothing out of it. So credit card debt is always first. And I'm pulling up our debt calculator on Freedom Finances.
.org, by the way.
.org.
New update to the website, by the way.
Huh?
New updates to the website happening every day.
Absolutely, yeah. We have some cool stuff going on. So, urgent debt is what I called it. If you go to Freedom Finances, type in debt calculator, like you can download the file, it's free. But urgent debt is almost always credit cards. We also have payday loans or title loans. So in your case, what'd you say? You have credit card. What else did you say, Dylan?
So I have student loans, the credit card, and the car loan.
Okay. So specifically the way I would probably pay yours is credit card, car, student loan. For the biggest reason is credit card you get nothing out of. You need to pay it off right away because it's costing you anywhere from 15 to 30% and a little bit of money like let's say I go take my wife out to the movies, spend $50 and I pay off the minimum balance, that movie experience could cost me $200 if I barely spend any money, right? Paying off the loan. So credit card first and foremost. Now you can do a couple different things. Like if you've listened to Dave Ramsey, he talks about like the snowball, and he says pay off your smallest debt first. So let's say you have $1,000 in car loans and $3,000 in credit card loans. You would pay off your car first, then move that payment towards your credit card. I think that's definitely an okay plan to do. I say credit
Agreed.
card because it's more urgent. It's getting you nothing, and you need to get that out of the way, and it gives you a little relief, right? You take that money from your credit cards, put it onto your less urgent debt, which is a car debt. Now, car debt is still pretty bad debt. It's just not as bad as urgent debt like a credit card, because cars quickly flip over, right, on your car loan. Quickly you owe more. Almost everyone who has a car loan owes more than the car is worth because of depreciation.
Correct.
So get rid of that. I mean, if we're being technical, say like pay off everything and never get a new car again, and then do your student loans last, because those are usually much lower. And then all of us, you can do like a different type of snowball method instead of just the small one. But I think like, let's say you did have a personal loan from your family member, Dylan. I would say that's probably number 2 after your credit card, and not necessarily because of the amount of interest, but because of like the relationship interest you're putting on each other, right? So if I borrow $1,000 from you, Dylan, and like it helps me get out of a hole, like I'll be like, Dylan, let me pay off my credit cards, then I'm gonna get you. But if I say, Dylan, let me pay off my credit cards, then my car, then my student loans, and I'll get you back, all of a sudden you might be like, I'm starting to be a little frustrated, right? You want your money back and it hurts your family. So doing something like that is probably, I would say, the second most important after like the really nasty high interest stuff.
Got it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it does amount to that snowball effect. I think it does make sense if you start there. It is just tough, I guess, in general, because it's sort of like student loans. I personally don't have any, but I do know that they do take out monthly, correct? Potentially,
Yeah.
for some people,
Yeah.
like they just auto do it. So adding extra into that just shouldn't be the priority. Adding extra into the credit card debt than the car loan moving forward there
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I would do like a type of snowball method. I just don't think your priority necessarily is the lowest sum. And Dave Ramsey has his own thing. It's like more of a mentality thing, right? Like you
Yep.
get in a good quality habit of paying off bills. And then that snowball method really works well in the end. My thought is like, do this, make your minimum payments on student loans, car loans, and put as much as possible onto your most urgent one first, not your smallest one first, and snowball it in a different way. It's like the snowball method is the snowball goes down a mountain and a snowball turns into a giant snowball. Mine's like, it's like more of like a landslide instead of an avalanche, if you will. Same idea, just different execution.
Makes sense. I think for me, it's just, I don't know, it's tough from a perspective point because I've just never had student loans. And I think it would just feel drowning. So I think it's sort of like what you talked about, almost like creating a checklist,
Yeah.
do one thing at a time, and it makes things more manageable for sure.
Yeah, I think with student loans are difficult for a few reasons. a lot of people within the last 30 years, millennials a lot, and Gen Z too, have gotten themselves into a pretty sticky situation with student loans. Like $50,000 to $200,000 of debt in student loans is not unheard of. Also, we had the pandemic, which a lot of people paused their student loans. We had political promises, like this is a common politician thing, like you're not going to have to pay off your student loans, right? That was me, generic politician, right? And like they just add up. People pause their payments on their student loans, and it's just a really rough thing because you're not getting anything out of it, and student loans can be the size of a mortgage. At least with a mortgage, I'm living in my house right now, right? At
Yep.
least with a car, I have my car. At least with a credit card, I have the stuff I bought with it. With a student loan, it's like, did I even finish college and I still have a
I,
student loan, you know?
yep.
So it sucks, but they're usually low interest. And, if that's all you have, pay off your student loans. If not, pay your minimum balance until you get your other urgent stuff out of the way. But student loans can be a tricky thing, and I think they kind of ruin the mentality around college and talking and things like that because they're just a difficult thing for people.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, I appreciate the perspective on there. I think it makes a lot of sense. And it's time to wrap us up for the day. Now, with this, so at the beginning, I talked about your retirement. So, what have what are some new things you tried since the last session we had? And then into this session today, the question I have on here is what's the future plans for you? Do you have any plans for your retirement you plan on changing up? Some ideas to, I don't know, diversify or keep things the same? What's your plans for the
Yeah.
future?
I think like some things I think about with retirement. I've I don't know if I put it on the website, but I have like the interest calculator in the compound interest calculator, and you can go through and type in like 10% every year and how much money you're going to make. And I love going through that, like looking at my 401k or my IRA, I should say, and just seeing how much it is, how much it will grow on its own just through simple compound interest. And I think it was like, how can I really make that like explode, right? So there's two ways to think about it, and I literally think about this all day. Like I go to Fidelity and I look at it, and I'm like,
I
okay,
tried not to
yeah,
personally.
I know, I do it. But it's part of the job, with Freedom
No, I
Finances
get it.
too.
Yeah.
Um, but I think it's like, okay, if I max out my IRA contributions, which I want to say is 7,000 or 7,500 in the year 2025,
I believe it's
how
75.
okay, how much difference is that going to make in 30 years from now? A lot. But how much is 7,500 going to be 15 years from now? Less so, right? So I think like, okay, that's a high priority is like max out your IRA. So I need to get to that before I get to the next step, which is just like exploding my wealth outside of compound interest. So I think like my mentality should be, and I need to remind myself this, is like max out your IRA first, before you try to like hit it big with whatever, the business or something like that. How can I work towards maxing out my IRA, whether it's like spending less or paying off other debt, which Carrie and I don't really have a bunch of credit card or car debt, like our cars are paid off. But it's like, how do I get to that point before I get to the next level? So my next point is 7,500 in IRA.
Yeah, and I was actually because you brought it up, I had to check. So I pulled up mine as well, and my contributions are looking pretty good. I don't know if I can, just from a personal standpoint, invest the 7 grand for the year into my IRA fully, but it's consistent each
Yeah.
month. I put it in.
Yeah.
And I will say through this though, but my portfolio is the highest. I actually checked just to see where I'm at. The highest it's ever been right
Good.
now. And
Good.
it's not a like over this year from last, it's like gained over 5 grand.
Nice.
And I've made some changes, and I think just what you're talking about with the changes that I've done, the compound interest is going to make that difference.
Yeah.
Um, Even investing before as I was, which was really great, I do feel like as I'm growing and growing with it, I
Yeah.
think it's only going to get higher.
So so a couple years ago I got laid off from T-Mobile, and really the only debt Carrie and I had is like our house and our car payment. And like I was like, what if we paid off our car early? You know, we used up some of our savings to pay off our car, and like some of our savings was stock. That was about August of last year. So we put, I want to say like close to $20,000 towards our car to have it paid off. So we have no car loans. Obviously, you know, with jobs, and that was easy to pay off. But I'm already at the point where I've made up that money without additional contributions, just through compound interest. I've made up that money in my portfolio just through performance and strong investing, where like it makes me think about like that means things are healthy. I think I looked at my rate of return was like 12.6% in the last year, and that easily made up the amount that I had paid on the car. So I'm like, plus car, you have interest, so I would have been paying interest, so probably a couple $1,000s more. I'm way in the green, or in the black, I should say.
It's trigger warning from your time at Vegas. But yeah, no, I agree. I think a lot of it just shows, something we could talk about one time, just impromptu, would be talking about like perspective time. Like, we talked about, I think it was a couple weeks back, where we were, patting ourselves on the back from this podcast saying like, don't sell, don't panic during the great recession we had for 2 weeks of the stock market, like, don't panic. It's going to be okay. I think a lot of perspective we can talk about is also with our own portfolios and like how investments has helped with that. I think that'd be something I think we all could do over time, like outside of just us, like on the podcast. I think it'd be something important that everyone should realize is that it doesn't look like you have $1 million today, but think about what 20 years looks like based on what you're doing now, because it's only going to get more and more as you develop.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
I think it'd be something to look forward to.
Yeah, I think if you start off early and are responsible, like you can make a couple mil easy by the time you retire in your 401k. And I'll say this, with the couple mil, a lot of people like the word millionaire is a bad thing, and like I get it, like it feels like people who have millions, have had better opportunities, but most retiring people who are in the middle class should be millionaires. Like, I know it sounds stupid, and I know it sounds out of touch, but like if you're contributing to your 401k over 30 years, math will get you to $1 million easy. And then it's like, well, they're millionaires, we should take their money. Like, most millionaires, obviously there's the ultra rich billionaires, right? Most millionaires are like guys and ladies in their 60s who are retiring. Leave them alone. They work their butts off for 30, 40 years.
They're not like a couple CEOs going to a Coldplay concert. You know what I mean? Like, relax. It's fine.
That's what we look at people and we're like, oh, millionaire, rich, 1%. Like, yeah, they're in the 1%, but they worked for 35 freaking years and they built it up in their 401k, leave them alone. You should end up a millionaire if you're investing in your 401k and IRA. And that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I think I do agree. You should just hate the CEOs. That's what it should be. That's the cool thing to do today.
You want to hate someone, hate them.
Yeah, hate them. That's the easy one out. As far as me goes for the retirement, I'm sticking to my plan. Yeah. I have no reason to adjust. I have mapped out how much I pay for. I put in extra steps in the event that I need to, not invest for some other reasons. So I'm sticking with my own.
Yeah.
And if that being said, if you have nothing else to add, Bradley, I think that's it for today. I appreciate everybody for attending today and listening to Bradley and I ramble. This is a nice one-on-one we had today. For everybody, once again, I appreciate listening, attending. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your week. And once again, always attend the freedomfinances.org website for any further information. Have a great day.
Adios.